Hey there, I want to show you something I've been working on. I'm Doggo. I am an indie video game developer and I'm creating a turn-based RPG with an aesthetic inspired by old cartoons. You just saw an early prototype of the game I am developing. A prototype is used to test mechanics and concepts of an idea in action. This allows us to know if the game we are creating is gonna be fun, identify problems in design, and know the weaknesses and strengths of a project before we commit ourselves to it completely. It would be disastrous to spend 4 months developing a game and even investing some money on it just to realize a little too late that it's not entertaining. That's why it's very common in the industry to develop early prototypes. I did the same with my previous game, Call for Help. This is a game about kid and firefighters. You can find it on Steam along with its original soundtrack. I was eager to apply what I had learned in a new project, larger and much more interesting than a casual game. I tried several concepts. First, I thought of a casual boat racing game in which you'd control the boat just with your mouse. Similar to Mario Kart, this would have different tracks and obstacles on the road for a more frenetic and competitive tone. However, it did not quite convince me and programming became frustrating. Then I considered an idea that seemed like an interesting concept, a fantasy survival game with total interaction with the environment, inspired by Project Zomboid. If you haven't played this game, I widely suggest you do it. It's great to play with friends. However, this project had 2 major problems. The first problem is that it requires online features which, while not impossible to develop, it would be like trying to cross the Pacific Ocean in a rowboat with my current experience. In short, it would have been a tortuous development that would have surely led to abandonment. The second problem is that it was just too ambitious. I was meaning to keep it available as an early access game with constant updates. As you can figure, it was non-feasible from a technical and financial standpoint. So, what's the right way to choose the idea for your game? Let's start from the fact that a good idea does not guarantee the quality of a game, but rather its execution. For instance, you can compare Sonic Team Racing to Mario Kart. Despite both being racing games, their gameplay is totally different, from which you can like one more than the other. However, Mario Kart is still way more popular. If you happen to be interested in Spanish video game development, you most likely know Albo Majo and his content on the platform. At the end of 2023, he uploaded a video on how to choose the right idea for your game. Paraphrasing his video, if you want to focus on the development of a video game, it is essential that you like it and you're passionate about the project you're about to start. Therefore, you should look after the ideas that you would like to develop. However, you should know not all of them will be viable. So, you will also need to consider the things that you are capable to do. And if it is your intention to sell the product, you should also consider the ideas that the public considers attractive. The intersection of the aforementioned will result in the ideas that you should consider to make a game. I wanted to develop a turn-based RPG that would allow me to tell a story. Luckily, this is a genre that's within my capabilities and it's also quite popular, so it made my choice easier. However, I wanted to give it some additional value. I was clear about the fact that I wanted to make a turn-based RPG. However, I didn't want to make it as complex as a JRPG. Nope, I wanted it to be accessible to everyone, including players that are new to the genre. I took myself as an example since I'm not a big RPG player myself, and despite this, there's 2 sagas that managed to catch my breath. The sagas of Paper Mario and Mario and Luigi. Paper Mario was probably the first RPG I ever played, and I fell in love with the way that the Plumber's universe comes to life. It gives personality to each character, and it offers fun fights along with your companions. But to me, the perfection of this formula was achieved by Alpha Dream with the saga of Mario and Luigi. The simple but addictive gameplay of this saga, along with its art and story, seemed like a perfect mix to me and one that was very easy to enjoy. I also really enjoyed the combat system that allowed you to interact between turns so you could enhance your attacks or block enemy damage. The combat system of my next game is totally inspired by this saga. Let's talk about art design. Even though I would have liked to do some pixel art for this, I preferred the 2D sticker aesthetic within a 3D environment, which other games have used throughout history. In January 2024, Mickey Mouse from the short Steamboat Willie entered the public domain, thus triggering a wave of creators with products of questionable quality that were using the character. The good thing is, this brought visibility to the black and white cartoonish style projects that were out there. Cuphead did something similar at the time, but I preferred to stick to the black and white aesthetic. So I had made up my mind about the type of game I wanted to make and the aesthetic I was gonna work with. So after that, I designed the prototype that you guys saw at the beginning of the video. We tried the prototype and we decided it was entertaining and we liked it enough to continue with the project. However, we had to start programming it from scratch. Even though we used a lot of the code from the prototype, it turns out it was not performing the best way it could have. Think of the turns as a little ball. Initially, each character had its own AI that defined its behavior. Each character's actions started when the turn was assigned to it. Once it was done, it would pass the ball to the next character on the list. This system allowed combat to advance. However, it was not well designed and it had its problems. The most notable one, the ball would duplicate at some point, allowing more than one character to take its turn at the same time, turning the battlefield into total chaos. We had to fix this by designating a combat referee, which would assign the turns and the order of actions. This allows each character to take their turns in an organized manner by designating this role to a single centralized AI rather than several. This pretty much fixed the combat system. It is still in the development phase, but we're making progress quickly. Next time, we will also talk about other areas of game development, such as the story, which has been inspired by other narrative games such as BioShock. We also hope to have a chance to speak with Cobomardo regarding the original soundtrack for this game. He was also the creator for the original soundtrack of Call for Help, which you can find on Steam or in your favorite streaming platform. We are very passionate about this project and we are eager to show you everything we can about development. If you made it this far, thanks a lot and I hope to see you back in the future.